Good morning, everybody. Matt Modi with OddsJam, recording this early Wednesday morning, November 30th, here to give you some college basketball bets for today. So I have a bunch here on the OddsJam positive EV page that I think are really good. So we can get into them. Not going to waste any more time. The first one that I think has a ton of value that I absolutely love is this North Carolina A&T first half money line plus 170 at Caesars. So number one, let's talk about the math behind it because that's the most important thing. No vig odds that OddsJam calculates has this to be at about plus 156. So right off the bat, huge gap between these two numbers, I should say, plus 156 to plus 170. That's a 14-cent difference between the OddsJam no vig line and the bet that we are placing it at, plus 170. The EV percent equates to about 5.4% on this one. So this percent can be viewed as your profit margin. It's basically your percent of expected value is what this number dictates. And it's pulled from, it's a formula, but in essence, it's pulled from the difference between these two numbers. So obviously the bigger the gap, the higher the EV percent is going to be. Now that doesn't necessarily mean that the bigger the percent automatically, the better the play. Now, in a vacuum, yes, but there's still some additional research that I like to do that I recommend anybody using OddsJam to do before placing a bet. It's not that complicated. I already did it. Just click open a play and look at where every other sportsbook is pricing this play. So we only have a point of comparison to one other book, but look at the difference between the Caesars line and the other two books. BetRivers, plus 130. Pinnacle, sharpest sportsbook in the world, plus 142. Both of these sportsbooks have it significantly priced below the Caesars number at plus 170. So even though the Novig line prices this at plus 156, giving you a win percentage of under 40%, yes, more often than not, 60% of the time, this bet isn't going to hit. So I understand the initial kind of trepidation for people placing bets at plus money, but you have to understand it's a volume game, and the goal is to make money betting on sports, not to maximize your win percentage. So, and I'll use an example. So if you open up this odds converter calculator, basically, and I don't need to get too far into this, but I think it's really cool that all odds have a win percentage associated with them. So whenever sports books are pricing odds to a play, all they're doing is they're assigning a win percentage, and then they're just converting that to odds. So they're basically saying, hey, we think that this bet's going to hit 44.9% of the time. So we're going to convert those, and those are going to be our odds. So the plus 170, which was what we bet this one at Caesars, it has a break-even win percentage of 37.04%. So basically, if we place 1,000 bets at plus 170 odds and we win roughly 370 of those bets, we will be break even. We will break even. Any number above 370, like 371, 372, or 390, we will make money. So the goal, obviously, is if to get enough volume that your win percentage of the actual odds themselves that we are placing the bet at is high enough to the point where you can make enough money betting on the plus money plays, meaning you don't have to win 50% of the time. Sometimes you don't even have to win 40% of the time, but you'll win enough to be profitable. And I understand, again, the trepidation saying, why would you place something that's not likely to hit? And this is exactly why. You just need to understand that we're playing the odds. And as long as it hits even 60% of the time, as long as even if it only misses 60% of the time or 61% of the time, we'll be making money. So that's why I like this first one, the North Carolina A&T. The next one, almost the exact logic here, Missouri State versus UIC. We're looking at UIC first half money line plus 145. I would recommend putting about half a unit on both of these plays. But the reason why I like this one, it's very similar. The OddsJam perfect line, the no vig odds pulled from the sharpest sports books in the world. Price this at plus 136, plus 136 and a half. We're getting it on Caesars at plus 145. So again, a pretty huge gap between these two numbers. All in all, equates to an EV percent of about 3.6. which means that for every $100, we'll make $3.60. For every $50, obviously we'd make $1.80, which I understand, again, not breaking the bank by any means. So between these two together, since I would recommend putting $50 on each, we made what, $1.80 here. We're making what, $2.80 here, 75 cents here, whatever. So you add that up. And again, you just need to keep in mind that it's only 2 bets and that it's going to be realized tonight. So positive expected value betting it isn't at all a get rich quick scheme. It's supposed to be supplemental profit over the course of time. So you're going to have down days, of course, because that's sports betting. But over the course of time, just like a stock that you want, it should be up and to the right with a little bit of downswing in there as well, because that's how it goes. So again, another thing to not get discouraged by is these lower EV percents. Granted, 4.5 and 3.5 are pretty good. So that is going to be my second one. My third one, again, I don't need to beat the drum here. Same logic, LaSalle first half money line, against Temple. Plus 155 odds, essentially, is the Novig line. Caesars has it at plus 160. And look at all the books across the board. Plus 140, plus 140. This plus 160 is a huge outlier. Again, 20 cents higher than where these other books price it. So this is a good play. But the play, and hopefully the odds didn't change on me here. They did. I had a play that was a standard spread. That was an awesome play. It was in this Harvard versus Holy Cross game, as you see up here. The odds changed. It's no longer available. But another really good play is this Sacred Heart versus New Hampshire under 145.5. I recommend putting a unit on this one. So half unit on the 3 first half money line plays for plus money. A full unit on this under minus 112 at FanDuel. So for totals, spreads, this works for some player props as well, depending on how high the number is. What I would recommend doing is view the event page in a new tab and look at where every sportsbook prices this play in general. So we are getting the under 145.5. Every sportsbook either prices it at 145, 144.5, or 143.5. And PointsBet has it at 143.5. Pinnacle has it at 143.5. Looks like BetMGM at 144.5. And then majority of the books have it at 145. What no book has is under 145.5. So this 145.5 is not only an outlier compared to the odds themselves, specifically the Pinnacle line, but more importantly, it's an outlier compared to where every other book is pricing this total at. So totals and spreads, you want to look into the markets themselves, see where other books price the main line at, which in this case was a pretty good play. So that's 4 college hoops bets for you guys today. If you're tailing any and all of these, comment and let me know. Other than that, please remember to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And that's it. So enjoy the college hoops slate tonight and have a good one.